In the summer of 2023, a Bleach game that popped up out of nowhere became extremely popular for its parry-based gameplay and fast-paced PvP. The visual effects left something to be desired, but it was perfectly appropriate for the main goals of the game. Enter Type Soul, a game that was outdoing its competitors by a long shot. By now, I'm sure everybody knows how Type Soul functions based on a rolling system for your desired playstyle. However, the nuances of this were very different back then. From the perspective of someone who went from a trash-ass noob to someone who is now half decent at the game, I would like to detail the experiences of a person who was not fully gripped by Type Soul back then.
Hi.
Yo, what's up guys, this is Curry. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. So the truth is, I wasn't always the GOAT that I currently am at Type Soul. I mean, bro, I ain't even that good. I was simply tired of searching for Bleach games that were even close to decent. Every single one I had played thus far had some quirk to it that made it so unfun to play, like horribly mid-combat or a severe lack of content. Now this may sound like old Type Soul, but the way the game was designed was a lot more self-sustaining than other games due to the raid system and the inherent racism. Yes, I know that sounds crazy, but this is the state of Bleach games on Roblox. There really wasn't anything else better at the time. Let me take y'all through the progression that was my first Soul Reaper slot. Keep in mind, I didn't play it right when Type Soul first came out back then. I was mostly just watching my friends play and deciding if I wanted to put the time in. Something about seeing my Quincy friend box people up with pre-nerfs seemed so enjoyable. It was still geared towards being a closed community game, so everything was unnecessarily tedious and boring. So I spawned in, got into grade 2, which took forever because you actually had to wait 30 to 60 minutes before grading up. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but we were in the mud back then, bro. When I finally got to grade 2, I was so excited to start finally rolling because that was my entry into PvP. So after a while of rolling and getting absolutely nothing except trash, I finally rolled dual blade and fire and I was like, damn, this shit is garbage, bro. The dual blades look kind of cool because they were like my GOAT Shunsui, but I did not give two shits about fire. And on top of that, it was horribly mid back then. It was nothing like how it is now. I grinded a bit more after that to special grade, and by the time I hit special grade, I was so burnt out from doing the same thing over and over that I just decided to start randomly ganking people. It was at this point I realized that old Type Soul was not for me, because when I tell you I was horrendous at the PvP back then, I sincerely mean that I expected the parrying to be somewhat decent, while my peanut brain back then could not comprehend the difference in parry time between Deep Pokin and Type Soul. I found myself getting washed almost every single fight because I was making the same exact mistake. I would fight, combo them up a little bit, attempt to parry when they hit back, f up the timing, then get put in the blender and just lose every single fight. It took me a little while to figure out that it's just much easier to spam flash stuff out of combos. I remember thinking back then, why would anybody like this stupid ass combat design? That was basically the end of my Type Soul journey back then because I heard the requirements regarding to Bankai. I will admit, during my time playing old Type Soul, my knowledge about the game was pretty bad. Even though I was actively playing, I had very little clue about the specifics of combat, like which moves to avoid for certain Shikai, Volt, or Res. As in every fighting game, there are certain key moves that you need to watch out for, or just having a general knowledge of the game helps you be better, obviously. I didn't really have the specifics of that, I just knew the basics in the skill tree, really. I wasn't even max level in the game yet, I didn't even have the patience to sit there much longer. Much less farming grips on players, doing raids, etc. Just being on the game's timing did not appeal to me whatsoever. The game was more focused around you spending more time in the game in order to level up, rather than actually playing the game. And as I said before, it was just full of boring tedium. Since then, the game has seen significant improvements and I found that way more fun, but back then it was like playing a whole different game. Please subscribe as I'm trying to hit 1k subs, as it would mean a lot, and while you're at it, feel free to check out my other content as well, as they're of similar effort and quality, and I think you guys would enjoy it, and thank you all for watching.
You better start a whole fire, now I'm on fire, I need some water, I need Tyler, I need Romani, Rebecca, Serena, Selena, let's start a whole